Episode 343, the Pandemic Series with Courtney DeWalter and Maggie Gutrell. Welcome to the Pursuit of the Perfect Race. I'm Coach Terry Wilson, and with each episode, I bring stories of athletes to you that share their experiences at races in order for you to learn how to have your perfect race. We will hear stories from athletes of all ages, abilities, and races of all distances. So regardless of where you fit in, there's something in there for you. Thanks for spending some time with me today. Now let the pursuit begin. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Pursuit of the Perfect Race. Today I am talking with the lovely Maggie and Courtney, and we're just going to be talking about the Pandemic Series and kind of what's going on in the world of endurance racing and endurance running. I know today is April 7th, and we literally just saw the conclusion of this virtual backyard ultra. Welcome to the show, y'all. I look forward to chatting with y'all.
Hey, Terry. Sorry.
Thanks for having us.
You're welcome. So I guess we can talk about Mike first because, I mean, we've already been talking about him a little bit, but he went 63 laps. I mean, were y'all expecting that? I mean, I know he felt like he could go more.
Yeah, I mean, I want to take credit for this because I've been trying to get Mike into this backyard thing for like 2 years or 3 years. His wife says he sleeps less than 4 hours a night on a daily basis. And I think sleep deprivation is a huge part of this. And obviously, I mean, he didn't even try to sleep. So I don't know how that would go the third night, but he seemed fine. So I'm not surprised it went that long. And I know he could do longer for sure.
Yeah. I mean, he looked good, and so did Reddick. I think that's how you say his name?
Yeah.
Reddick? Yeah. I mean, I was really hoping it would go into...
It was so cool to see.
I know we were kind of chatting a minute ago before we hopped on here with what races y'all think will be next before, like, there's that end of the postponements and cancellations and all this. And for myself, the Comrades Marathon hasn't been postponed yet, and it's supposed to be June 14th. So I don't know if that's going to go off yet. They still said that they're going to make an announcement next week in 10 days or so on the 17th. But I haven't heard anything.
I'll go because Courtney dropped off, I think. She'll come back, I think.
Yeah, she'll come back in.
Yeah, I mean, I would be more likely to think that like a national race would happen before like an international, like just one where people come from all countries. I mean, obviously our country's in like the thick of it now. So like, I don't know why anyone would want a bunch of Americans coming to their country.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like,
and,
I was talking with my coach yesterday. Days are starting to blur together already. And I was like, the Comrades, I mean, they could just say, hey, look, we're not going to allow Americans to run this year. They pose an actual health risk. Their country has the most coronavirus cases. Like, hey, it makes sense. And, like, I wouldn't take offense to that. Because, like, hey, it's factual. But I know some people probably would be upset about it. But, I mean, I'm ready for the Marine Corps Marathon 50K this year and then the Houston Marathon. And I almost think the Marine Corps Marathon probably won't even happen. Like, it's in October. I mean, is this going to go away before then? I hope so, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, the projections keep changing, but they're like saying about, by fall it'd be okay. But I don't know that it's just going to be like free for all the second that, we're like, oh, this is much better because, as soon as things open up, the cases pop up. I'm hoping October can happen because all the races are rescheduled for then. And obviously Biggs is then. But also if other countries can't come, that'll be really sad. It won't be the same. I don't know about UTMB and like tens of thousands of people cramming into a mountain village in Chamonix, France. And then obviously Hard Rock has a lot of international people, and that's a small town. Silverton has literally no hospitals or doctor. And but they really need this this influx of runners to come in at that time because, I mean, they rely on that.
Yeah. Well, I saw where the Western States 100 was canceled.
Yeah. And that's, a huge international race too with like, you know, and that's what end of June. So, I mean, and also a lot of the, like, obviously Western states is a huge undertaking in preparation and stuff. So to kind of move forward into the last minute with a race doesn't make sense, you know, especially when you think like there's little chance that it's reasonably going to happen. You suck a lot of money and time and stuff like that. And I think at a point you need to be like, cut your losses. I mean, I think that's maybe what they did. They just saw that they didn't see how they could possibly move forward with it.
Yeah.
You know, it's this summer is a big question mark, I feel like.
It is. So, I mean, for you, I mean, I'll ask Courtney and Sally if they join. How's your motivation been with your own training?
Yeah, Courtney said her internet in her neighborhood's terrible right now and she's going to reboot.
Okay.
So, well, my training obviously kept shifting because I was 2 weeks before Barkley was canceled. And that's kind of when everything was beginning to escalate and we were realizing how serious this was. And I kind of thought Laz was like not understanding the reality of how big this is and his own health risk. But then when I talked to him during this like virtual backyard, he said as soon as China started shutting down, he was like, this is real because it's China. Like China is the biggest giant in the like just producer of everything. So if they shut down, it's serious. So he was like, obviously just trying to keep Barkley going for everyone else, even though I think he realizes the health risk to himself, but I'm glad like it was canceled. It was inevitable, but you know, it is the right decision. So obviously that's a lot of training and you're now in taper mode. And so what do you do with that? You're just like, I don't know. So I barely ran at all because I was like, what am I doing? And so then for my plan for a month after Barkley was to run Badwater, Salton Sea, which with two teammates, Micah Morgan and Pam Smith, and Carrie Morgan, Micah's husband, was going to be our crew. So we were like, okay, well, let's just do a 100-mile week in solidarity. So last week we did a 100-mile week for no reason, which is fun. But I saved all my miles for that last Sunday, and it was like 36 miles I had to do. That was that's not how you run a 100-mile week.
Yeah.
And it wasn't really training. It was just like running for fun. And then 3 days before this, I signed up for the backyard thing. Finally, I was like, well, I might as well try this and just, you know, maybe try to go for 100 miles and call it a day. And that didn't work out for my back. And I haven't been doing like yoga and strength work, and the chiropractor's closed. So usually I go for daily maintenance, like, well, weekly or bi-weekly, depending on the situation. So now I'm just trying to take care of the back thing without a chiropractor, and then maybe figure out another fun challenge and maybe work on speed. But like, I have no idea when my next race is. It might be big. So, yeah. So hard to really peak for anything or focus, you know?
Yes. I mean, even going into like this virtual backyard thing to get a little off track. I mean, I saw how many treadmills break because of this thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's mentally hard to run on a treadmill, I think. And like, I guess a lot of people, yeah, I mean, that's like Roddick's treadmills going for 3 days straight almost. That's crazy. Yeah. I mean, it was a brand new treadmill, so it's not like some people probably had some older ones.
Yeah. And his was a NordicTrack, and everybody that was commenting said, I think he needs a sponsorship with NordicTrack.
Yeah.
I don't know how many shirts he owns, but it has to be a lot, because like every time I saw him, he was putting on or taking off a different shirt or sitting there drinking tea. Like,
yeah, I wonder what the shirt thing was. It's funny because like, was it to show that he wasn't on a loop? So you're like, oh, different shirt, you know, or something. And he had like a transition shirt too. He would be like
the white
shirt. One. Yeah, it was like shirt for chilling, shirt for back on the treadmill. Like, maybe he's just showing off his guns every time. So, you know, he changed right in front of the camera.
Well, I know. So some of the earlier ones at night, he would run shirtless. So I went back and looked at that because I was trying to actually get a count of how many shirts there was, and I couldn't count.
Did you really?
Man.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yes,
Yeah.
we can hear you.
I'm going to try without video and see if maybe it can hang for a little bit here.
That works. So
Sorry about this.
It's okay. So I was just talking with Maggie, and we were talking about motivation. And how has your motivation been through all of this?
Pretty good. I just love running. So I think I would be training even if I didn't ever have races. And it's been fun because it's starting to be spring and the trails are opening up. And in Colorado, they're still encouraging outdoor exercise. So I've been getting out the door still. I just am not sure what the next time I'll actually race is. And I'm fine with that right now.
Yeah. So for you, how many races were you registered for that got canceled or postponed?
How many of my races have been canceled?
Yeah.
I guess 4.
Wow.
That's a late season for her.
They were, so everything through June has been canceled, which were all kind of my training and build up races. So none of my main goals for the year have been canceled yet, but, Hard Rock 100 being in July, we're just, kind of waiting for them to make a call on that.
What do you think the call will be?
I hope that we can still run it because I've got Maggie who's going to be pacing and Sally who will be pacing, and to share that with them this summer would be so fun. But they're going to, I hope, just make the call that's the safest and best for everyone in the community, and that will be that. So I trust that they'll weigh in all of the factors to know.
We have contingency plans, though, if that doesn't happen.
Oh, really?
Yeah, some mountain adventures.
Man. So, I mean, between this 100-mile week, races being canceled, I mean, I'm glad Laz was going to do the right thing no matter what with Barclays. I mean, I was registered for his, I don't know, there's not many people that know about his strolling gym race, the 40-miler or 41-miler. I mean, I was registered to do that this year, and, I mean, it got canceled, basically. I mean, they offer refunds, but I was like, you can keep that. Like, it's not that big of a deal. Like, it's like $50, $80, I don't know. But they have a waiting list now, and that race isn't going to happen. I'll go back next year and do that. But
yeah, that seems like a fun one. I just 40 miles is like a cool distance, and it's, they have that record that you're supposed to. I mean, the women's record seems really hard, and you get like a couple $1,000 or $1,000 for
I think it's
taking that
5.
record. Really?
Yeah.
Like, I was hoping it was a different court. I mean, this woman who, I forget who has our women's record, she was running 6:30s for I don't know, 40 miles or something.
Jesus.
Somebody could break it, but that's crazy. And then you get the different colored t-shirts for your finishing time, which is pretty cool.
And then if you finish above 7 hours or 8 hours, you don't get a shirt at all.
Really?
Yes. It's like, oh, you don't even get a race shirt.
It's a road race, right?
It is. It's all on road. I was doing that. I was planning on doing that as a lead up for Comrades, because Comrades is on road. And it's gonna be.
Have they decided anything for Comrades yet?
Not yet. It's they're gonna make an official announcement on April 17th. So
okay.
I'm just.
See, they have a date. I think that's what Hard Rock will end up doing, is they'll say we'll make a decision by this date. Because Courtney said all our June races are canceled, but they haven't officially canceled Northern Lights 24-hour, and it's it's a town outside of Seattle, and on June 6th. I just don't see how that can happen. I wish it would, but I just think that they're just probably waiting just to see, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah. Some of the marathons that are on my bucket list that I follow, they haven't happened. I mean, I was scheduled to do Little Rock Marathon this year in February, and I didn't do that. And like after that, it's like all the races started being canceled. Like it was just like all of them. And I mean, just from what I see online with the triathlon community I'm a part of, it's a lot of people being really discouraged because it's like I gave Ironman $1,000 to register for a race, and now they say, "Oh, you're automatically registered for next year's race, not this year's race," and we're a month and a half out. Okay, or whatever the situation might be. I mean, there's at least 15, 20 races from Ironman alone that's been canceled or postponed. And
yeah, that's hard because these are expensive, but they cost a lot to put on. But I mean, they're in it to make money, and you know, these businesses are now like, it's like the same situation with Ragnar relays. I just know this because Tailwind's a sponsor of Ragnar this year, and like they've canceled a ton of their races, and like, you know, it's hard because people spend good money to go and then it's canceled and some of the money is already spent, and it's like no one wins in this situation.
Right.
It just sucks.
I mean, do y'all know any businesses that are really being impacted that are impacting the endurance community?
I mean, retail running shops obviously can't be open and they're suffering, and a lot will probably never be able to open again because the financial setback's too great. But I mean, people are trying to rally behind their local shop and buy gift cards now and like, you know, do something, but a lot of them might not survive, which kind of sucks.
Yeah. Same with some of the race companies. The race directors are, I think, struggling with, if this was their main source of income, now trying to figure out what that can look like to keep the lights on for a while longer. Yeah. It's been crazy. It's crazy for so many people in so many ways.
What do you think would be a good solution to help out these small businesses and even race directors at this point?
Yeah, I mean, just like for the retail shops, like people say, buy gift cards now and give them for gifts later or go spend money later. It's still probably not going to make up the difference and maybe won't be enough. But, you know, like obviously Air Vipa is doing a virtual race that's, you can run a certain distance. You can sign up for whichever one between the 17th and 25th. And a portion is going to like charity for the COVID response fund, I think. But I mean, that's still probably not going to make up, you know, any of what they're losing.
Right.
So I don't know if there's like a good solution. Obviously, they're not going to get a bailout like the airlines.
No, not quite. I mean, I think long term, this is going to have, like, being that, like, I'm going to still be a runner no matter what. I'm still going to be active no matter what. Like, I feel like this might set the experience and the knowledge base and the growth that we were seeing in the community. It might set that back a few years because of the businesses and the people, they couldn't make a living in it anymore for this time frame, and they had to go and do something else, and they're not going to come back.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I think it's going to domino effect in ways we can't even predict right now, probably. Same with like media or photographers who, you know, they photograph races and that's how they make their money. They're going to have the same sort of domino effect. And who knows if maybe they'll just follow a different path then to keep making money and not return to this as their place. I don't know. It's going to be really wild to see how it unfolds in the next years.
Right. I'm friends with a photographer up in the Seattle area, and he's just staying home. He can't do anything. So, and he is a photographer for like some the Portland Timbers and a few of the local and more well-known sporting leagues, and like that's what he does. And now he can't make any money doing any of that. So I mean, even all of his weddings that he was going to shoot, all his weddings were canceled. So I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And
I feel lucky. I have a job that's like, I mean, running just like not races, but just running kind of booms in a recession. And right now everyone's running, and we're still able to produce Tailwind, because we're considered, we're a beverage manufacturer, is considered essential. So like, I'm pretty lucky, but I like think about all these people all the time who like, yeah, I mean, I used to work in bars and restaurants for a really long time. Like, what would I do? Like, I was paycheck to paycheck. You live off tips, and like, then all of a sudden you have none of that. Even if you're working for takeout, like, you're just not making as much money anymore. So like, that's really hard. And I just feel like pretty lucky, but it's just definitely going to have so many, like what Courtney said, domino effects.
Right. I mean, I know Boco. I saw an article the other day on Boco, the hat company. They're being impacted very much with this.
Oh, negatively, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and everything comes from China too. Like, so, that was all delayed for a while, and they're kind of back up running, but now stuff's kind of tough here. So It's just the world's all affected.
Well, and China's shutting down for so long. I mean, we get so many manufactured goods, from the iPhone to computers to whatever, from China. And now then that's not going to be there. So it's just going to be delayed, and that's going to drive up prices of goods and whatnot. What about food in your areas? Have y'all been impacted by grocery stores and getting a mask or needing a mask? And what's it like there with y'all?
Yeah, I went to the grocery one time since this whole thing kind of exploded, and now it'll be just my husband's job, because I couldn't do it. It made me really anxious to be in the grocery stores. All the shelves were empty. It felt like this weird movie, where people were just walking around looking frightened and silent. So it's pretty wild. The whole thing is just like, I don't know, feels like, is this real? Like, how did this happen? Right. Yeah.
Well, Courtney has a good cereal stockpile going. So
what cereal? What's your favorite cereal?
She doesn't need to go for another month, I
think. My favorite cereal right now is Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Oh my gosh.
Lucky Charms are a close second.
I love Lucky Charms. That used to be my race morning go-to, was Lucky Charms an hour before. Like,
oh, so good. They need to work on their ratio of marshmallows to oat bits, though, because they have not increased the number of marshmallows in the box in all of the years it's been in production, but no one wants the oat bits. We're all there for the marshmallows.
Yes.
I feel like you need the oat bits to appreciate the marshmallows more, though.
Did you just join Team Oat Bits?
Yeah, maybe so. She is Team Oat Bits. Maggie, who are you?
I grew up on Cheerios. That's essentially what they are.
I thought there was a thing for a while that you could actually buy just the box of the marshmallows.
Oh, really?
I think there is. Like, I could have swore I saw that.
Oh my God, that'd be in hog heaven.
I'm going to Google that after we get off here.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
So, like, are y'all good on TP? Do y'all have enough TP?
For now.
Yeah, we have enough TP.
Man.
I think when we go next time, well, we're going to go separately because we went together last time, and it's just a lot. And like, then I'm looking for Ryan the whole time because he wanders off. And then the whole time I'm just looking for him, and it's frustrating. And I feel the same way. Like, I'm just nervous in there and I don't like it. And like, there's a mix of people who are like wearing masks and staying away, and then people who have no freaking clue that there's like anything going on and they're ignoring. It's usually, like, I hate to stereotype, but it's usually younger people who are just like, there's groups of 3 of them, and then they walk really close to you, or like people bring their kids and their kids are running around and they almost like run smack into you. Like I was in the aisle the last time and this kid was just coughing in the aisle and everyone cleared out of the aisle. It's like, what are you doing here? Like, what is going on? It's crazy. But yeah, like, there's certain things we still are hard to get. Like, so if we go to the store, I think if we see that there is toilet paper, we might get it because we're still good. But like at this point, you don't know if you're going to get it when you need it. So like,
right.
Which is it's just like a downward spiral, like a whatever effect, you know? I don't know what the term is, but like, you know, there's no toilet paper because every time you see it, if it's there, people feel like they need to buy it. And then when you need it, you just don't know if they're going to have it. So.
Well, before all this happened, like the time I went to the grocery store before everybody was doing anything, I was like, yeah, it was like actually on my list and I got the same one I always got, you know? And then when I went a week later, all of it was gone. I was like, okay, I'm glad I got that then. Like,
yeah.
And then like all the tuna, all the rice, all the meat is gone. Like, and now get this, I use sugar-free creamer in my coffee. All the creamer except the sugar-free coffee or the sugar-free creamer was gone. So it was just the sugar-free there. So, I mean, I'm like, hey, I'm good.
Wait. So you'll eat Lucky Charms, but in your coffee, you put sugar-free creamer.
I haven't had Lucky Charms in a really long time. So
okay. I thought they were a recent race food.
Oh, no.
Okay.
I've done the protein pancakes from Kodiak. Like, I get enough of those. They need to sponsor me. Like, I eat those every day. Like, Amory makes fun of me because I have so many pancakes. Like, I'll eat 2 a day, or 2 packets, so that's 6 a day for breakfast with sugar-free syrup. And then I'll have just whatever for lunch. But I mean, I'm going through pancakes like it's going out of style. But I just got this notification for this Zoom call to wrap up because it's approaching the time limit here. But this has been fun just chatting with y'all. I've enjoyed it, and I look forward to following y'all. I know, Maggie, I've been following you. I hope your back is doing well and you can maybe do some strength and stretching it. I was going to say yoga, but I didn't. I got tongue-tied, nervous. I don't know.
Yeah, I keep saying every morning I'm going to do it, but then I don't know. I start I blame it on Mike and Radek.
Man. Well, Courtney,
thank you, Terry.
Yeah, it was nice to meet you, and I hope we can get in touch with Sally. I mean, I'm game with doing this again in the next week or two, so that way we can all 4 have another chat. Be kind of fun.
It'll be a blast. Yeah.
Because I got nothing better to do right now because there's no races.
I have the paid version of Zoom through work.
Everyone's schedules are pretty clear.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I could start the meeting next time if you can record it and we can talk for over 40 minutes.
We can definitely do that. Definitely.
Thanks, Tailwind. Sponsored by Tailwind.
Yeah, I'll give a plug. I don't mind. Man. Well, hey, real quick.
Well, have a great day, you guys.
Yeah, before we hop off, Maggie and Courtney, how can people follow you?
You can follow me at Courtney DeWalter on Instagram. Kidding. That's Courtney's handle. Mine is at Magatron Runs.
And I'm Perfect Race Podcast, just so you know. Because there is no perfect race. I refuse to believe it. Just saying. But y'all have a great day, and we will chat soon, okay?
Awesome. See you.
Right. Thanks for tuning in today. I hope you were able to learn something from today's episode. If you enjoyed the show, please take a minute to leave a review on iTunes or share it with a friend. Be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode. If you'd like to see pictures from this athlete's race, learn more about who I am, what I'm doing, or be on the show yourself to share your story, check out my website at CoachTerryWilson.com. Until next time, continue the pursuit.